From KVUE News in Austin, you're watching Texas This Week with Ashley Goodo.
Good morning, and thank you for watching Texas This Week. Early voting in the primary runoff elections starts in just about 2 weeks, and there are quite a few races that were left undecided in March. Here in Austin, one of those races is deciding who will represent a large swath of the city in the Texas House of Representatives. State Representative Gina Hinojosa is now the Democratic nominee for governor, so the seat she's held for 10 years is now open. And with no Republican running to represent District 49, whoever wins in the May runoff will presumably take her place. Back in March, 8 candidates ran for the seat. Montserrat, Garibay, a member of former President Joe Biden's Department of Education, ended the night with 33% of the vote. Kathie, Tovo, a former Austin City Council member, got 28%. This morning, we're bringing you interviews with both candidates as they make their case to voters. We start with former Austin ISD teacher and Deputy Assistant Secretary at the U.S. Department of Education under President Biden, Montserrat Garibay. Tell us what you believe is the biggest difference between you and Kathie Tovo.
So the biggest difference between Kathie and I is that I have been a lifelong bilingual educator, activist, and union organizer. For the past 25 years, I have been a teacher, a union leader, worked at the national level under President Biden at the U.S. Department of Education. So I have 25 years of experience, and I am the expert of education.
When you think about policy that you want to put in place, tell me a few examples of things that you want to see Texas do when it comes to education.
Well, first of all, we need to make sure that we don't expand these vouchers and that we hold private schools accountable for getting these types of monies, right? We know that we're not going to be able to get rid of them, but we do know that we can work in collaboration with rural areas. And the fact that, fine, this money is going to be going to private schools, then we need to hold them accountable. And so one of my first bills that I would love to file is make sure that if the private schools are getting this money, we need to make sure that they have all their teachers certified, just like we do in public schools. We need to make sure that the money that is going there, that we serve our most needed students with special education, emergent bilinguals, gifted and talented students. So we also need to make sure that they are held accountable by the same standards that we have from public schools. And right now, that is not the case. we're seeing that this money is not going to the kids that need it the most. And so I want to make sure that that accountability piece is going to be important it's been important in my campaign, but it's important that we put that in the table, right? Rural areas, the public schools are the heart of their community. And so right now, whenever the vouchers start happening, we're going to have communities that are going to be broken, that are not going to have money that goes to the entire community. So we need to make sure that we hold them accountable, and that's what I want to bring. Another issue that I would love to bring, like I said, being here in Texas, we have the border. We have a lot of students who have the opportunity to be multilingual. We have great dual language programs throughout our entire state. And so we need to make sure that we are providing our students the opportunity to be multilingual, to make sure that we can work in collaboration with the community colleges, with the high school in these dual credit programs that we have, apprenticeship programs, all about workforce development. We have a great opportunity. We have great opportunities to do that. When I was at the Department of Education, I visited 23 states, and I saw the beauty of organizations, nonprofit, philanthropy, school district working together to make sure that they are investing in our students. And so thinking of all the different examples that I went through for the past 4 years with President Biden, I want to make sure that I bring those ideas to the table and that we invest in our students.
Give us some final thoughts for viewers about why they should elect you this May.
You have an opportunity this May 26th to elect someone that is going to be inclusive, that is going to bring new voices and energy and an organizing way of doing things at the legislative session. I am a prime example of the American dream. And that American dream is still alive. As hard as things are at the national level and the state level, I bring that importance of that American dream, that it can be achieved. Even a young, undocumented child who loves their community can become a state legislator for our community, Juntos for Justice and Unidos for Change.
I want you to tell us what you feel is the biggest difference between you and your opponent in this race.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm super excited to be in the runoff. We had lots of candidates, 8 of us in the primary, and so, I'm really honored to be in the runoff with my opponent. The main difference is really the kinds of experience that we've had leading to this point. And, I'm the only one in the race with the experience of actually working in a legislative setting, of passing legislation, of amending legislation, of running a constituent office. And so, that experience that I had as a 3-term city council member, I believe is one of the real big advantages I bring to the race. That experience, passing legislation and really working with colleagues to compromise, to, mitigate the harm of certain policies, and frankly, standing up and stopping some proposals that were going through that were not in the best interests of the community.
When you think about your platform, for this particular race, and if you're successful in November, what would you say is central?
Well, I have there are a lot of issues I want to affect change on, but there are 3 main areas that I'm going to focus on: education, environment, and affordability. And, those are all really important to the constituents in this district, as well as other Texans. With regard to education, we need to fully fund our public schools. On the other end of that spectrum, I'm really concerned about what's going on our university campuses. As somebody who came to Texas to get a PhD from the University of Texas, I taught in American Studies. I got my degree in American Studies and cross-listed in Women's Studies. Those departments have now been consolidated along with, various others. And so what's going on our college campuses is of real concern to me. With regard to affordability, I want to see us really expand access to affordable health care, affordable high-quality child care, affordable housing. Those are all things that I think the state can do better for, working families. And then with regard to the environment, we have some real challenges. As we all know, we're living in a time of climate change, and we really need to bolster our communities, help them build up that kind of climate resilience that will help them, better prepare for wildfires, for floods. And, in the midst of all this, the data centers that are coming in great numbers to Texas pose real concerns with regard to energy use and water use and customer pricing. And so, that is probably the most immediate thing on the horizon. I noticed in the interim charges, a lot of the different committees that are meeting through the summer are dealing with data centers, and that is going to be a real critical issue, I believe, for the next session.
Final thoughts for our viewers on why they should elect you in this runoff?
Well, I'm really passionate about public service. I've got a lot of experience in this realm, representing the whole city at one point, and then part of this district as a city council member. And I've got the passion to do the work, and also really the skills and experience that we need at this time. We are at a critical time in our state's history with really big challenges on the horizon, from public education to data centers coming to, many, many other things in between. And the breadth of issues I really got to work on the city council are going to be of help. I got to pass some big initiatives as a city council member, from leading the charge on the Sobering Center to really leading the effort to help get some funding for AISD programs, from pandemic caregiver meals to after-school programs, and feel like I've got a good base of knowledge to start from in addressing some of those same issues, but now at a state level with a different political landscape and a different set of challenges.
Registered voters have until May 15th to request a mail-in ballot. Early voting runs May 18th through the 22nd. Election day is May 26th. That's Texas This Week.